on the phone. Also, Jennifer's on the phone. And we're waiting for everyone at the board meeting to kind of reconvene. So I think we're almost ready to go. So
we're here. We're all here now.
Okay. All right. So we are ready to go. So just wanted to check in with all of you and you know, for the benefit of the public and the board members, kind of just find out where we are with everything. And just to lay a little background here, I'll explain that the district has submitted an initial corrosion control study and also a set of design documents for review by the state. And these are two separate things. They're related, but they're separate. The design package was submitted for the purpose of switching to soda ash, and the state has, I think they've completed their review and had some comments on that. And then the corrosion control initial submittal, the state also had some comments about, and I actually met with the state, as did Ron McLaughlin and Jennifer, to kind of talk through some of the corrosion control issues. That's going to be a more long-term and ongoing study. But with regard to the district's desire to quickly switch to soda ash, that's what I'd like to take a minute and talk about at this point. So, Sharon, you guys you've received our design documents that were prepared by Ron McLaughlin, and you have some comments. And I see by email that that came in last night that you issued your comments back to us, and I admittedly have not looked at those comments yet. So can you kind of tell us where we are in the process, and are we looking at some significant comments? What do we have to do to get through the, we're going to have to respond and get it back to you at this point, is that right?
Let me make a brief response to that, and then I'm going to let Brett give you some details.
Okay.
But just to clarify for everybody's benefit, I just want to make sure we're all comfortable with that idea that we're on two parallel paths here with the district working with us over here at the health department. One of those paths is the design review for soda ash, and that's moving forward, and that's specifically what we provided comments on yesterday, and we've had good communications with our engineer and Ron. The other path is a corrosion control study that will be ongoing. And what we've agreed with the district is that they can move forward with installing soda ash. We have no objection to that as long as the design is approved. But the study is required to continue until there is sufficient science behind the decision to establish optimal corrosion control. So those are the two parallel paths we're on, and I wanted to make sure everybody was clear on that, so we're as a point to start from.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for me about that? Because we're probably going to talk about both of those things, but I don't want to get them confused.
Any board members? Go ahead, Ron.
I don't have any questions. I think it's we understand that, and it's a reasonable approach.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right. Okay, so with that said, I know that my understanding from talking with AJ and Ron and Jennifer is that a priority for the district is to get the soda ash approved and installed. And so with that in mind, our folks from engineering have been communicating with Ron about the design documents and what we're going to need to move forward with approval for that, so you guys can get approval and move forward with construction. So I'm going to ask Brett to comment on where we are with the design review. Brett?
Yes, all right. So as far as the design review goes, as you said, we've completed our initial review, provided an RFI letter, and that letter was sent out last night in preparation for this meeting. Andrew Rice, when he completed this letter, he was able to talk to Ron McLaughlin last night and go through his comments verbally, even after sending this letter out. And so that discussion's been made. As far as the, I think that what was asked was, how extensive are these comments and how difficult is it going to be able to move forward? I don't say that these comments are insurmountable, and I really don't think that should be probably left for Ron McLaughlin to answer. So, I might turn that around on him a little bit and see what he thinks.
Yeah, I got the draft letter this morning and have gone over it. It's kind of maybe it's a product of trying to get the cart before the horse, but I don't see anything in there that actually would change the drawings. It's primarily information wanted, a lot to do with startup operations, and I think that we can. We'll have it back to you probably Monday or Tuesday, if that's okay.
And, as fast as you want to turn it around, are capable of doing it.
Yeah, from the perspective, Ron, that's great. If you can turn it around that quick, that would definitely be appreciated. Of course, we would expect that you would give all of the answers to sufficient detail. So hopefully this will meet all the state's, requirements, and hopefully we can move forward from that point. So assuming that we get sufficient responses to that request for information, Brett or Sharon, do you guys know at that point what kind of review time frame we can expect?
Sure. Speaking with Andrew Rice, he said he'll make it a high priority, and he said at least within a week we could have something turn around if everything was acceptable.
Oh, well, that is great. I mean,
Wow.
It's really is a rapid turnaround on that.
When I reviewed the comments, and the time might be taken if we had to change the drawings, but I don't see any of those where we actually have to change the design drawings. So I think we can probably have it. We shouldn't have much trouble getting it done in a couple days.
Great.
So we have a member of the public who has a question. AJ, we can entertain that. Yes?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
please
go ahead.
Yeah.
I was wondering why this was considered putting the cart before the horse. What are the issues around that? Also, I've heard several times that there were comments that needed to be addressed. I was wondering who made the comments and what are the main obstacles and issues on those comments. And by trying to go so quickly, which of course everybody wants, me too, is this creating some problems down the line with putting this proverbial cart before the horse? Because I don't know what the comments are and what the concerns are. And who made them?
Well, Ron, do you want to go ahead and address that?
Sorry, I did not understand all of that. I think it had to. Can you just summarize what the question was?
So we have a member of the public who asked. You made a comment about the cart being before the horse, and I think your comment was just with regard to reviewing the state's comments for information, and
Let me answer that one. Conventional practice is that you have a pre-design or engineering report that gets all done and approved, and then you do the final design. In this case, we're getting the final design in before the report is completed and approved, the pre-design. And in this case, it makes a lot of sense because the actual determining optimum corrosion control plan probably is best done by taking several months of sampling.
So let me stop you right there, Ron. I just want to clarify then. The comment about the cart before the horse is because we're trying to rapidly pursue the switch.
We're doing the design. We're trying to get design approval before we have pre-design approval. But it makes sense in this case.
Okay.
So I think it's actually what we were speaking about earlier. We're two different tracks. Ordinarily we would go down the path of the full corrosion control study, come up with the optimal plan for treatment and do that treatment. What the prior board decided to do was fast track going to soda ash based on Ron's initial recommendation that would be an alternative to the OPP. And at the same time, we still have to go down the track of the full corrosion control study. So putting in soda ash is the cart, and I guess, and the full study, the full corrosion control study is the horse,
Which is behind the cart.
which is behind
Which
the cart.
should be behind the cart.
Yes.
Should
So
be.
did I?
Maybe in this case it's parallel, but that's all right.
The
Yeah.
horse.
And then with regard to the second part of the question was the nature of the state's comments. And I just want to say up front that these comments are in response to the design submitted for approval to start using soda ash. So it is normal in every case, the state's engineering division would review a design. And if they have questions or need further clarification, they would issue that request for information. That's what's happened here. And, so some of these comments, and I admittedly haven't read the letter, they might be a bit technical in nature, don't really know, because they are in response to a engineering design submittal.
AJ, Claudia has one more question.
Go ahead.
Hey, AJ, so there's like no doubt, there's like 110% certainty that we need to have some kind of corrosion treatment, whether it's OPP or soda ash. And so is that, first, I have a second question to that. Is that true? There's absolute certainty that something has to be done for alkalinity
Or corrosion control.
or corrosion control.
I would ask that, Sharon, do you mind responding to that, or Brett?
I can feel that one. This is Sharon Williams again from the Health Department. We have reviewed all the water quality data for the district going back a number of years now, and we are certain that corrosion control is necessary to ensure that the water served by the district meets all health standards. If you want, I'll say 110% certain. I personally, my responsibility here is the safe drinking water compliance assurance for all of the water systems across the state, and I've personally reviewed the file and the data myself, and I can tell you that the district is moving forward appropriately right now, both in terms of completing the study and moving forward with the design review.
Okie dokie, thank you all.
So I would just like to ask, there was a rumor went around like wildfire that the state had rejected out of hand our soda ash plan, but that's not true at all, is it?
That's not true.
Thank you.
Okay, AJ, I think that covers the questions from our public.